Pope Leo XIV had a busy weekend in Rome as he celebrated his first Easter as Pontiff. Montse Alvarado, president and COO of EWTN News, reports.
Our glory is the cross of Christ.
With these words began the Easter Triduum for Pope Leo XIV and the Universal Catholic Church. On Thursday, Pope Leo entered into the Archbasilica of St. John Lateran in Rome to celebrate the Mass of the Lord's Supper, nearly 2,000 years after it was instituted by Christ, who, as Pope Leo reminds us, always beckons us closer.
Varchiamo questa soglia non come spettatori.
We cross this threshold not as mere spectators, nor out of habit, but as those personally invited by Jesus himself as guests at the supper in which bread and wine become for us the sacrament of salvation.
Sacramento di salvezza.
Pope Leo emphasized that on Holy Thursday, we are reminded how God serves man, not through granting wealth and power, but through the simple act of washing our feet. Out of love, says Pope Leo, the Lord kneels to wash each one of us, and in doing so, he transforms us.
Col suo gesto, infatti, Gesù purifica.
Through this act, Jesus purifies not only our image of God from the idolatry and blasphemy that have disordered it, but also our image of humanity. For we tend to consider ourselves powerful when we dominate, victorious when we destroy our equals, great when we are feared. In contrast, as true God and true man, Christ offers us the example of self-giving, service, and love.
Un esempio di dedizione.
On Good Friday, when the Church meditates on the Passion of our Lord and adores the cross, Pope Leo gave a message to the world, not through homilies or words, but through silence. The Holy Father, head of the Catholic Church, spiritual leader of more than 1 billion Christians, prostrated himself before the cross, in humility before the crucified Christ, whose passion brought the salvation of the whole world. And later that night, as darkness set on the city of Rome, Pope Leo took up the cross and led the faithful through the Via Crucis. In the very Colosseum where Christians, according to tradition, were once put to death for their faith, the Holy Father led the faithful in praying the Stations of the Cross, in remembrance of what Christ endured out of his love for us. Then on Saturday night, while the eternal city was enshrouded once again in darkness, a spark of light.
May the light of Christ rising in glory dispel the darkness of our hearts and minds.
The Easter Vigil, the oldest in tradition, welcomed light back into the world as Pope Leo celebrated the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, reminding us that the love of God truly does overcome all.
In tutti questi momenti della storia della salvezza,
In all of these moments in the history of salvation, we have seen how God responds to the hardness of sin, which divides and kills, with the power of love, which unites and restores life.
e ridona vita.
After the homily, Pope Leo XIV welcomed the newest members of the Church through the cleansing waters of baptism. And finally, on Sunday, as Rome and St. Peter's Square were once again flooded in the light of the sun, Pope Leo gave his Urbi et Orbi message.
Happy Easter!
In his message to the city and to the world, Pope Leo encouraged us all to live the gospel message of love of God and love of neighbor.